Hello, children. Today we will be starting with the eighth chapter of class 7, devotional part to the divine. So, as I read this name, devotional part to the divine, what comes to your mind? There are certain things that would be coming to your mind are devotion, that means bhakti, a spiritual world, and divine means God. All right. So, now let us begin with the chapter. In the 8th century, two new religious movements, Sufism and Bhakti, emerged. Devotion to God without discrimination on the basis of caste was taught by the Bhakti and Sufi saints. So now there were two religious movements that came into existence in the 8th century. One was Sufism and the second one was Bhakti. And what did they teach? Devotion to God without discrimination on the basis of caste, and the teaching that they gave was you should not you should feel free to talk to God. You should not discriminate between high and low and on the basis of caste, color, creed, religion, gender. Both Sufism and Bhakti movements had several common traits and spread as popular movements at about the same time. So now both of these movements, the Sufi as well as Bhakti, they had several common things. They had several common things, and therefore they became very popular at the same time. Now let us come to the second topic, the idea of a supreme God. Before large kingdoms emerged, different groups of people worshipped their own gods and goddesses. As people were brought together through the growth of towns, trades, and empires, new ideas began to develop. So now what happened? Before large kingdoms or empires came into existence, these two groups, the Bhakti and the Sufi, they started teaching the people about the worship of God and goddesses, Devi Devta. As people were, and this brought them together, and the people were brought together through the growth of towns, trades, and empires. Now, when these things happened, the development of towns and trade and empires started developing. Also, this new idea of supreme god or goddesses, they came into existence. They also began to develop. The ideas that all human beings are not equal at birth gained grounds during this period. So now this period, that is the 8th century, people started believing that since the birth, nobody is equal. Nobody is equal. They are all different. Some are high, some are low, some are rich, some are poor, some are Brahmin, some are Kshatriya, some are Vaishya, and some are Shud. So this idea started growing in in the 8th century. The idea of supreme God who could deliver humans from bondage through devotion or bhakti emerged. So now what happened after these uh, ill we can say ill ideas about inequality on the basis of during the birth, gave the idea of supreme God. This means there is only the whatever is it. Nobody is beyond the God. That is, the God is only the supreme power. He is the one who has the capability of delivering justice to all. And this was taught through the Bhakti movement. Gods and goddesses worshipped in different areas came to be identified with Shiv, Vishnu, or Durga. So now what happened when the Bhakti movement was teaching about God and goddesses in different areas, the gods were identified as Shiv, Vishnu, and Durga. Like they are different forms of gods and goddesses. Okay, a new kind of bhakti in South India, Narayanas and Alvars. The 7th to 9th century saw the emergence of a new religious movement led by Narayanas, saints devoted to Shiv, and Alvars, saints devoted to Vishnu. So now in the north it was the Bhakti movement, and in the south it was the Nayanars and the Alvars. The Nayanars were the followers were the followers of Lord Shiv, and Alvars were the followers of Lord Vishnu. And these two movements get these two religious movements grew in the 7th to 9th century. That is, we can say, in so in between 8th century also. So now there were three movements. In the north there was the Bhakti and the Sufi movement. In the south it was the Narayanas and the Alvars. They were sharply critical of the Buddhists and Jains and preached ardent love of Shiv or Vishnu as the path to salvation. Now, these two movements, the Narayanas and the Alvas, they sharply criticized the Buddhist teaching or the Jains preaching that the Buddha and Mahavir Jain are the only people who preach love and affection, and they sharply criticize the मतलब आलोचना की नारायणाज एंड अल्वर्स ने that not only शिव और विष्णु के जो पाथ हैं उससे आपको मोक्ष मिलेगा, उससे आपको शांति मिलेगी. The Narayanas and Alvars went from place to place composing exquisite poems of praise of the deities. So now what happened? The Narayanas and the Alvars, they went from one place to another. Composing means लिखते हुए, बोलते हुए. बहुत अच्छी. Exquisite means very beautiful poems about the praise of the deities. Deities shrine. Shrine means mandir or temple. About whom? About Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. And they went singing these praises from one place to another. And this way they set some music to these poems. The Chola and Pandya kings built elaborate temples around many of the shrines. Now when Alvars and Narayanas were composing and praising their deities, how could the dynasty or the kings be behind? So they started building very big temples about these deities, and they were known as the shrine. Shrine means religious place. Now let us come to philosophy of bhakti. Shankara, a philosopher of Kerala, advocated Advaita, or the doctrine of the oneness of the individual soul and the supreme God, which is the ultimate reality. Now you might have heard the name of Shankaracharya, who was a great philosopher and he belonged to Kerala. So now he said, he advocated means he started taking the side of Advait. What was Advait? Doctrine of oneness of the individual soul and the supreme God. That means he said the जो आत्मा है वो एंड में किससे मिलती है? सुप्रीम गॉड, दैट इज भगवान से जाके मिलती है, एंड दैट इज द अल्टीमेट रियलिटी. एंड दैट मीन्स वॉट एवर हैज कम टू लाइफ विल डाई वन डे और द अदर. So this was the philosophy of Shankaracharya, and Shankaracharya preached so much of doctrine of oneness that not only in Kerala but also in the Himalayan region of Uttarakhand and other places, this philosophy still exists. You might have heard the names of Badrinath and Kedarnath temples. It was Shankaracharya who visited these temples and also advocated the doctrine of oneness or Advaita. Ramanuj of Tamil Nadu advocated the best meaning of attaining salvation was through intense devotion to Vishnu. Now, Shankaracharya was the one who advocated the cause for Lord Shiva, while Ramanuj from Tamil Nadu, he praised, or he said, he took the side of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, and said, whatever is there, at the end, it is Lord Vishnu who will give peace and prosperity, and you will attain salvation, or you will attain moksha if you follow Lord Vishnu. Bhaswana's Veerashaivism. So now there was a person known as Bhaswana, who was an ardent follower of Lord Shiv. Okay. Veerashaivism movement was initiated by the Bhaswana and his companion Allama Prabhu and Akkama Devi in Karnataka in the mid-12th century. So now in the north it was the dynasties of the Delhi Sultanate that was taking place in the mid-12th century, and in the south it was the Bhaswana whose followers Allama Prabhu and Akkama Devi in Karnataka, they were preaching Shaivism. They argued strongly for equality of all human beings, opposed Brahminical ideas on caste and treatment of women. So now these two, Lama Prabhu and Nakkama Devi, they started opposing the Brahminical teachings where people were divided on the basis of caste, creed, color, and gender. So they said no. This is not proper that you are dividing the society on the basis of they are dividing the society on the basis of caste, color, gender, and religion. But and everybody by birth is equal before the God. Now let's come to the saints of Maharashtra. The saints of Maharashtra, Janeshwar, Namdev, Eknath, Tukaram, Sakubai, and the family of Chokha Mela focused on the bhakti of Vithala. So now there were many saints in Maharashtra whose names are Janeshwar, Namdev, Eknath, Tukaram, Sakubai, and the other family members of Chokhama Mela. These were the saints of Maharashtra who focused on the bhakti of Vithal. Vithal means a form of Vishnu. You might have seen Balaji temple. Have you seen that statue with the black statue? That statue has naturally occurred, and that is the form of Vithal Dev. Some of these belong to the lower caste. They rejected all forms of ritualism, outward display of pity, and social differences on birth. So now even these saints uh, like Bhaswana's disciples, even these people, they started opposing the rituals. Ritualism means जिसमें बहुत दिखावा हो, जिसमें बहुत ज़्यादा दिखावा हो, जिसमें बहुत सारी ill forms हैं, उनको they started criticizing or rejecting them and said that the society cannot be divided on the basis of birth. By birth, everybody is equal, no matter who the person is. Now let's come to Nagpanthis, Siddhas, and Yogis. A number of religious groups that emerged during this period criticized the ritual and other aspects of conventional religion and the social order using simple logical arguments. So now there were so many other groups who came into existence, and they also criticized the elaborate rituals and other conventional religious and social orders where society was divided into different forms, and they provided logical arguments. They use simple techniques basically. होता है ना logical analysis. They provided that only to the religious groups who were ardent followers of the Brahminical rules. Among them were the Nagpanthis, Siddhachars, and Yogis. So now these groups, Nagpanthis, Siddhas, and Yogis, they were the ones who criticized the rituals and aspects of conventional religion, where society was divided into different forms and according to the basis of caste. In the next video, we will do Islam and Sufism. Till then, take care of yourself.